Hello, people. Working on the Excursion today. It is going to need a passenger front caliper because, I don't think your pistons are supposed to look quite like that. So it was stuck. The slide pins are, not greased. But while it's sitting here, I decided to try a new method to fix a problem. This is the biggest problem we've had with this Excursion, is the battery keeps dying. If it sits, when this thing was running every day, it wasn't such a big deal, but if it sits for more than a couple, 3 days, battery goes dead. And one of the issues we always had with it is that when it rained, the door jar light wouldn't go off. And so I got to thinking, and after a while I thought, you know what, I'll bet it's those damn door jar sensors are not grounding, especially when it gets wet. But now they're just not grounding at all, and I'll bet that's what's draining the battery, is that it's detecting the doors open like all the time, and it just slowly drains that battery. It's a little bit of a short. So back in October of 23, I opened up the in-gate here and I disabled them. There's one on each side. You can get all those trim pieces off. And so I thought I'd fixed it and it helped, but then it started getting wet all the time, which is weird for this area. And so then I decided, you know what, we're just going to pull out all of the sensors inside the door. Now, I'm not going to show you how to take the door panels off, and I know that might irritate some of you. I will tell you that on pretty much all of these door panels, you take this out, the switch panel, generally you can kind of pry up. There are little tabs back here on these rear doors. But you get that out, there's a screw behind here, you pop this off, there's a screw behind there, you take those 2 screws loose, you could pick up this panel and take it right off. And then you can figure it out the rest of the way. There's usually a little shield or something back here. And the only thing different on the front doors is that you need to take this off. But these door panels are not hard to take off. It's the same thing for the Super Duties. And then back, like up in here on the inside, is your door jar sensor. And you'll know it's the right one because there's essentially 2 connectors in there. One of them is for the lock actuator, for your auto locks, and the second one is for the door jar sensor. Now, the door jar sensor has a connector that is, I'm trying to think what it's similar to so that I can show you. It's one of those where you just push on it and pull it off. I think the blower motor here is, yeah, the blower motor is the same way. So you're going to feel up in there, and you'll feel this. Okay, it'll feel like this one except smaller, and you just push in on it and pull it off like so. And it's hard to do one-handed. There's no way in hell I'm going to be showing you that inside the door, but they're like this, and that's how you know you found the right one. Best way to tell is if you open the door and your interior lights come on when you found the right connector, and you should be able to undo it by hand. Okay, the other connectors that are more of a smooth feel, you have to get a screwdriver up there, and there's a tab that you have to pry up and pull them off. For the lock actuators, they freaking suck. So there's really no way you can screw it up unless you misunderstand what I'm telling you. But if you look in here and your interior lights are on, once you unplug that, they'll go off. And so if you're having battery issues with your Ford Super Duty or your Excursion, I would try doing that. I would try unplugging all of the door jar sensors. I think the ones in the in-gate are a little different, but I would try that and see what it does, because that's the biggest reoccurring issue we've had with this vehicle. Other than that, it's been just downright reliable to a fault, really. It's never let us down. But yeah, occasionally stuff is going to wear out on it. The Super Duties are prone to brake problems. The Excursion is no different. It's just the calipers are, they're not the greatest. They will wear out, the slide pins and stuff. I feel like they could have done it a little better. But that's all right. We'll get a new caliper thrown on, or new pads on both sides, and should be good to go. No more dragging, no more pulling to one side. And hopefully no more dead battery issues. Although I will say, as long as that battery's been in there and as many times as it's gone dead, it probably could stand to be replaced. I don't know. That's probably the last interstate battery that's worth a damn. I'm just going to say I don't like interstate batteries. The country tough ones from Orscheln were better, and now Orscheln's gone. So, oh well. No more dead battery issues is the goal. And if you're having problems, I would try those door jar sensors, because that is, to me, the number one thing that is doing that. Now, one more thing, and it happened on this pickup right here. This is a 2001. Okay. The only other thing that can happen is that the starter, one of the cables can come loose, and so you could crawl underneath and wiggle your starter cables to make sure that they're not loose, because I had that problem with this for the longest time. It just wouldn't crank very well, and then one day it just quit cranking at all, and I thought the battery was going to hell, and no, it was the starter cables. So I would check those two things if you are having Super Duty electrical problems. Start with that and go from there. Powerstroke Panther and I are going to go in. So I hope this helps you out. If you have any other questions, let me know. I'll do my best to assist you whenever possible. And we'll catch you in the next one.